Larry, let's talk for a moment about some of what your firm has dealt with in this last year. We talk about businesses having to pivot and facing new challenges, in your case, facing new cases that have been born out of this pandemic that we've had to deal with. What COVID-related stands out to you the most?
Business interruption. There's a lot of small businesses that are no longer in business, those individuals who have been harmed because they had to shut down because of the pandemic. And so that's the first thing that stands out.
I know that you got calls from frontline workers early on who were required to come in and work without PPE. There were several cases around that. But now you're seeing a range of new employment cases dealing with COVID. And this one stood out to me. An increase in the number of discrimination cases, even those involving sexual discrimination or harassment. And my first thought was, there are a lot of people working from home. So out of what is this increased number of cases born, do you think?
It goes to our most vulnerable, those individuals. When we talk about frontline workers, we tend to think about those in the hospital. But what about the people in the kitchens, the people who prepare the food, the manual labor that goes into a lot of what we take for granted? These individuals have faced such hardship because of what is going on. And when we talk about the sexual discrimination, unfortunately, there has been a growing number of women who have been let go because of this pandemic. And it is something that, my office and other offices that take care of employment law are keeping an eye on, because we want to make sure that we have justice, but we treat people fairly. And so we're all dealing with what's going on with the pandemic. It's not an easy solution, but we have to make sure that we do things right.
So there's harassment, of course, sexual harassment. When you talk sexual discrimination, you're talking about someone being discriminated against based on their gender. You're saying women, to a greater extent than men, are being let go, you believe, because of their sex. What's consistent? Is there one common thread through with these cases? Is it because they are strapped with having to care for children and they're not getting any leeway or allowance from their employer, so they're just getting struck from the payroll?
Part of it is that, but we're also still dealing with a systematic discrimination issue. When you think about the breadwinners of the household and the necessity for laws like the Lilly Ledbetter Act that required equal pay for women and that did the same job as men. And so these things didn't magically go away, when that legislation was passed. And so we want to make sure that if in the workplace, that if you have a disproportionate number of women who are being let go, that those are things that make our ears perk up, because we want to make sure that they're not being treated unfairly. The same thing goes for any of the protected classes.
Larry, thank you for shedding light on that. And we know you too are facing what could be new legal territory as again, circling back to helping businesses who, for whatever reason, may have been shut down unjustly or aren't getting the justice they deserve to be able to run their businesses. We appreciate you joining us. You can go to CochranTexas.com for more information on the Cochran firm, with offices in Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston.